back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. You know what time it is. It's full time
MMA.
First of all, I gotta say, let's fucking go! Second of all, I gotta say the UFC has issued a statement on Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier being overturned, and in that statement, they're saying that the boy, the GOAT, Daniel Cormier is gonna be reinstated with the light heavyweight title, which means fuck you if you thought he don't deserve it. Fuck you if you thought for some reason DC was disqualified from being the champion because he lost to the dirty Jon Jones, the cheater Jon Jones, the Jon Jones that failed another USADA test. Oh, come on. How can you not fucking love that? Let's go. Daniel Cormier's getting his fucking title back, dude. Fuck you, time Matt. This means, you guys already know how I feel. Daniel Cormier is the GOAT. He's undefeated to everybody at heavyweight. He moved down and he only lost one time to Jon Jones, the greatest fighter, the G-Dope, the greatest dirty fighter of all time. Other than that, nobody's been able to fucking touch Daniel Cormier. So Daniel Cormier's the GOAT. If you want to talk about who else is in the conversation, people say Anderson Silva, people say Fedor, people say Conor McGregor, people say Demetrius Johnson. We'll leave it at just the today's fighters. Who's the greatest fighter of today? Who's the pound for pound #1 fighter in the UFC today? That's Daniel Cormier. That limited down to Daniel Cormier, Conor McGregor, Stipe Miocic, and Demetrius Johnson. And if you're talking about translating to multiple weight classes, which is what pound for pound is to me, somebody who can do it, has the skills to go up and down in weight classes and still be dominant. The only person that rings that bell to me is Daniel Cormier and Conor McGregor. But Daniel Cormier has did it for a longer time. He's been more successful doing it, so therefore it's Daniel Cormier to me. Daniel Cormier's beat tougher competition. He's defended his belt. He did it at the heaviest weight class available, moved down to 205, did it there too. He's got a wrestling base, which is, as an MMA fighter, typically the greatest MMA fighters do have a wrestling base. It is arguable, but I do agree that wrestling is the strongest base for an MMA fighter. I think a wrestler coming to MMA would be more successful than a boxer coming to MMA or somebody that's pure jiu-jitsu or whatever. So wrestlers, that's probably why Daniel Cormier has such great success. But let's talk about Jon Jones for a second, because we probably won't be for a while, because this might be, who knows, one of the last videos we see on Jon Jones or do on Jon Jones for a while. And I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a couple ripple effects like Jon Jones came out and said this, or he's fighting it. But either way, Jon Jones is done as far as I'm concerned for a few years, 2 to 4 years. I mean, just because he's a big star, people are saying 2. But technically, they said since it's a second offense, the violation is doubled. And since it's an actual steroid, it's a 2-year violation, which would mean Jon Jones will be gone for 4 years. A 2-year violation doubled. 2 times 2 is 4, just in case you didn't know. So, it's looking like Jon Jones is going to be gone for 4 years. The UFC issued a statement. Let's read that real fast. Man, I didn't know this was new. I just seen that they issued it on UFC.com. Here's the UFC statement on light heavyweight title. UFC was informed Wednesday that the result of the UFC 2-team bout between Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier on July 29th was overturned by the California State Athletic Commission. The ruling changes the Jones win to a no contest following a potential anti-doping policy violation stemming from an in-competition sample collected after Jones' weigh-in on July 28, 2017. As this was a title bout, Cormier will be reinstated as the UFC light heavyweight champion. Let's fucking go. Some people were saying that they want to see Daniel Cormier fight Alexander Gustafsson for a vacant title, but I disagree. This is the difference. If Jon Jones was the champion going into the fight, that would be a different story. But since Daniel Cormier was the champion and he got cheated out of his belt, I think he gets his fucking title back. If Jon Jones had defended, if Daniel Cormier was just a challenger, I don't think the challenger should be granted a belt if the champion was found dirty for the first time or whatever, but that's not the case here. Daniel Cormier was the fucking champion, and if Jon Jones would have tested dirty the night before the fight, if the results would have been back the night before the fight, Daniel Cormier wouldn't even have had to fight that cheating motherfucker, and he would have got to keep his belt. So it is what it is. I'm excited about this news. I just seen on another website the fact that the commission overturned the win. So in my previous video, I knew that the win was overturned, but it still wasn't clear whether or not Daniel Cormier would be reinstated. But on UFC.com, they've released a statement. They said Daniel Cormier will be reinstated. Daniel Cormier is light heavyweight champion. That's fucking dope. That means it's official. Jon Jones is stripped. it's 100% official. If the UFC is saying Daniel Cormier will be reinstated, that means Jon Jones will be stripped of his motherfucking title. So with that being said, it is what it is, man. Let the haters know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. Dude. What do you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino? Elephino.